Okay, we're doing live stream question and answer session for November 2017. Welcome, everybody. I'm Bache from Recording Studio 9, and thanks for joining me again today. And today I am actually going through, instead of normally what I go through OBS, this time around I'm actually going through Google Hangouts. So I'm going to give it a try and see how it actually goes. And hopefully, I'm going to experiment during the Q&A. If anybody wants to actually join in to my Hangout and what do you say? And be part of it, you're most welcome. I'm trying to organize so that if you have a cam and you are on Google Hangouts, and you might be able to be a guest on my show. I'm not sure how it will work, but I'm hoping it will. And it all depends on the time of the day on Google Hangouts, of course. If anybody is awake or just woken up, I will have the live chat open as well. The time of the day on Google Hangouts, of course. If and we are getting anybody's awake, or just looks like my voice is actually going, not a problem. So it's all good. Let me know how you are going and how you've been, and I hope that you've been well for the month of October. I had quite a few things on, and this time around. I thought I'll do Google Hangouts, and I'm hoping that more people will join me on live chat as well on YouTube. I'm getting a bit of tongue twist here for some reason. I don't know. I don't know what it is. So yes, hopefully we'll have a chat about music, audio gear. Oh, I think the camera is not straight, so that's, oops, sorry. I'm just trying to fix the horizontal so we get you're not watching like this, so it is straight. Yes, I hope the stream is good, and I do hope that you can hear me well as well. And yeah, welcome to my live stream. I have been quite busy with recording music, making lots of new videos, which I have to sit down and edit and upload them. I've done a couple which I've uploaded, and yeah, so having lots of fun. So we'll hope that we'll get more than a couple viewers online, and probably have some questions as well. Please, if you have just joined, make sure that you share the link so that other people can join in as well. So let's see what is happening. I have not used Google Hangouts. I think I used a couple weeks ago once again, trialing it. And I'm hoping that this time around I got a little bit better at it, but I am still working on it. I used to use OBS, but OBS has some issues with running it on my laptop and my camera, and whatever I wanted to run, it just doesn't run properly. And I think there is an update which may or may not fix my OBS problem, but I hope that won't be long. But if Hangout works out well, and at the same time, if I can get people who have camera and microphone that can chat with me, I'll invite you in, and you'll be able to chat with me and ask the question, just like, I guess, being on Skype, that sort of a thing. And I'll give you guys chance to ask questions rather than typing it in the chat box. You can ask live, and I'll be able to answer. and you become part of the live stream. You become a guest for me. So yes. So let me know what is been happening around your area of things, and if you've been recording music, there has been quite a few updates. Of course, if you haven't visited my website, recordingstudio9.com, please do so, because I do have giveaways there as well that I have just started. I've got the PreSonus Studio One Prime, the free DAW add-ons, which normally cost about $20 each. I do have them as giveaways, so you can actually win those. Um, and there's three of them. I have the Ampere XT extensions, which is great for guitar players. You get lots of guitar tunes. I also have Mai Tai, which is a synthesizer, which you can use in Prime. And I also have the Pro plugins, which comes the compressor, Pro EQ, room reverb, the gate, and limiter. So these things can actually enhance your um, music creation in Prime, and you can win those all for free. So I'm having a look. We don't have that many viewers unless it's not reporting correctly. Let me just check out and find out what is happening with my live stream. It says doesn't say much, does it? Yeah, it says the stream is good, so which is a good sign. Everything else is okay. Yep. We don't have any chats. How would I know how many people are watching? Let's give this a try. I'm still working at this to see what we can do. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But yeah. So if you are around and you can actually see me and hear me, please use the chat box to but on that side there, and somewhere around here, and you can certainly talk to me, and I'll try to answer any questions you might have regarding audio. Yeah, that's what I might do. I might pop out the chat so that I can actually see the chat much better. There we go. Where are we? No. Hey, I keep losing it. Anyway, so I don't know what time of the day the rest of the world is, but here in Australia, Sydney, which is where I'm streaming from, is just past 9:30 p.m. on Friday night, 9:35 p.m. on Friday night. And I hope the people will join me. I actually have about over 6,000 subscribers now. Well, I don't know. Maybe everybody's sleeping, or no one likes the live chat. Out of the 6,000 subscribers, I guess, according to the statistics, only about 5% of the subscribers watch the videos they upload, the new videos they upload. 95% of the views are from new people discovering my channel. Well, maybe some people just subscribe and just forget that it's there, or maybe I don't know. I don't know. So if you are watching me live, please do chat so I know that someone is there. I'm not alone in this whole universe of internet and streaming live on YouTube. I've got a new setup, and I'm using Google Hangouts to do my broadcasting rather than OBS. So I don't know whether that is the problem of people not watching. Because in the past, I used to have up to 20, 25 viewers at any one time. But this time around, no one wants to watch. Well, I guess, yeah, maybe I'm not good anymore. I don't know. Or no one has any questions anymore for me. But hopefully someone will have some questions. Just say hello or anything if you just started watching, or if it's just too boring. It could be boring, you know. Anyway, um, what I was going to talk about? Yes, I just got myself, and I'm gonna review this a new audio interface that I'm gonna take it out of the box and show you. I'm actually trialing this audio interface, and in hope that it's actually good enough to be able to do recording with it. It's quite a small one, bit bigger than the Swamp Industries SM11. So it's still got one microphone, but it does have separate guitar input and separate keyboard input. So you could have a microphone, guitar, and keyboards all at the same time. So we have SLTV Siege, the lounge TV. Says hi. Hello. Thanks for joining. Hopefully we'll have a few more people join in. So yeah, and the mixer that I'm going to be reviewing and looking at is this one here. Let me see if I can get this better. Let me move this out of the way so I can see. So that's the mixer. So you've got combination mic and line input, and you have a guitar input, so high impedance guitar input or line input, and then you have the stereo input as well, and stereo output to go to your monitors, and then you have the headphone output as well. So it's got a slider. Let me get the damn thing out of the plastic. There we go. Now you can see better. So it's got a slider for fader. It's got the gain, and it's got pad, minus 20 dB pad. It's got 48 volts phantom power, and it's got the fader for the microphone. Then you have high shelf, mid frequency, and low shelf. So you've got 3-band EQ. And then you have delay as an effect. So you can turn effects on and off. So it's got built-in effects already. And then it's got the input for, which one is this? Guitar level. So you can adjust the guitar input. And then you've got level for channel 3 and 4, which is the keyboard input. And then you have USB playback level, and then headphone level and master volume level. And it is run by USB. That's it. No need for any external power supply. It will just run from USB. So I'm going to be reviewing this, and this may be a product that I will be selling on my website. If it works out, great. If it works out that it will actually get any musician to start up in their home recording studio to have a mixer, to connect a microphone and a guitar and a keyboard, and have effects as well in there if need be. Then if I'm happy with it, might be some product that I'll be selling very soon on my website. And SLTVC says, thank you, I'm the Studio One user. Welcome, great to know that you are a Studio One user. So I'm not an expert in Studio One, even though I use it for every project, but I try to keep things as simple as I can, unless I need something important, something different that I normally do, then I look into things. But I've got the professional. So if you have any questions on Studio One, I'll try to answer as best as I can. But yeah. So yes, as I mentioned, that product right here, hopefully this will be a good product to actually have in your home studio, and it will be affordable as well. Who knows? Okay, anybody else has any questions? This is a Q&A session that I do once a month, and today is November the 3rd. So this is for month of November. If you have any questions about anything audio, please do ask me, and I'll try to answer. I've also inquired a couple more extra gear. Hey, mic preamp, mic instrument line level preamp, tube preamp, which I might do a video on. I used to have an dual channel ART tube preamp, which unfortunately I sold it for I don't know what reason, but now I've got another one. But this one is single channel, and it does have EQ in it and compressor. So I'll review that as well. Yeah, lots happening. Any questions? Anybody questions? If there are no questions and my number of viewers is down, then I might have to finish up a bit earlier than I expected. So there's not many people viewing for some reason. How would I know? Here we go. Oh, okay. I don't know. Anyway, where's my chat? There we go. It's very hard to do this all alone because you've got the video, that thing that I gotta look at, the stream that is going to Google Hangouts, and then something happens between Google Hangouts and YouTube, and the stream goes there, and then I have to keep track of the chat as well. So there's got on my laptop, it's got multiple windows open, but it's working all right. Okay, any other questions you guys might have? I also, as I mentioned, I am in Google Hangouts. So if you have a video camera and a microphone, if you want to join me in the conversation, become part of my live stream, just let me know, and I can certainly invite you, and we can have a live chat as well. So you could be my guest. Yeah. Okay, let me see. SLTV Siege says, we have the project like worship team from the church. We want to record. How can record the locals one by one or all together live? I'm using Quantum Thunderbolt vocals. Well, if you have the Quantum Thunderbolt, vocals one by one or all together? Well, if you have bought Thunderbolt and you don't know how to actually use it, so you can record the vocals one by one or all together live, uh, you really need to learn about it. You spend thousands of dollars in buying the PreSonus Quantum Thunderbolt. You really need to read the manual, because I can't really help you because there's too many questions and too many details to be able to for me to be able to help you. I mean, I don't have the Thunderbolt, but the Quantum Thunderbolt, but I do know about it. I have read it, and I know how it actually works. Um, but I physically don't have it, so it's a bit hard for me to um, work it out. But you really need to read the manual of how it works. But I think it's very similar to the PreSonus Studio 192. You've got your universal control that will connect to the Quantum through Thunderbolt, and then you'll be able to control every aspect of each of the channels in your PC or laptop using the universal control. That includes, the FAT channels, the inputs, all of the routings to all the different outputs. So yeah, all of that. So, and we have Johnny J. Clark, and he says it's 6:45 a.m. in the States, and asks, what mic are you using for the broadcast? Well, I'm actually using the microphone that I always use, the BM900 from ISK. It's my go-to microphone for all my narration that I use, and it's sitting right here. Let me just see if I can move it into. There we go. It's got the sponge cover. Let me gently move this sponge out so you can actually see. And that's the microphone that you're hearing me now. And that's what I always use. It's the ISK BM900. Okay, let's get you out of. There we go. It's okay. These people will see that. So that's the microphone I'm using. Okay, now I get the question from SLTV Siege. Says, in general, how can I record well the vocals, live or one by one? Well, it all depends on the environment or where you want to record. See, for me, actually, I have a project coming up very soon. In a few weeks' time, I will be doing a trial recording of a choir in a church. And I just went and visited the environment and talked with the guys who actually organizing it. They want to record the choir singing and then have CDs released and sell them for charity to raise funds for the church. So I just went there and had a look. The church was just too much reverberation. It's good when people are actually listening to the choir inside the church, but we decided to actually use the hall. There is a smaller hall next to the church, and we're actually going to go up on the stage of the hall, close the curtains, and be behind it, so that to minimize as much as reverberation or reflections of sound when it's being recorded. So it all depends on the environment. They were actually planning to come here in my studio to be able to record 4 or 5 people at a time from the choir and all the different parts separately, but I actually suggested probably it's better if the whole choir sings all at the same time. They also have a piano that they need to play. So it's important to find out what the situation is before you can actually decide whether recording live the whole choir or recording one by one is a better choice. See, what we want to do is capture the choirs as complete for the church, and that's what we decided to do. So I'll be taking about 6 microphones with me. There's few directional microphones and couple omnidirectional microphones. I have some couple large diaphragm condenser microphones as well for all the baritones, and all the others will be for, you know, alto singers, soprano, and singers. They're all in, you know, in the group, in the choir. So as they stand on the stage, so all different microphones will be pointing to different parts of the choir, and we're going to record it live. Then I'll have a couple microphones to the piano that's going to be played. So the choir, as they're singing, they feel part of a group, they're singing together. It will sound much, much better than having even 4 or 5 of the singers, the choir singers, come into the studio, record their part, go, and then the others come in the next day or next week and record the other parts. It's not going to sound as good. And then I have to add, you know, reverberation into it, where we can actually get the holes live reverberation into our recording. And I'll probably have to minimize it to make sure that it's not washed out. But from the microphones that I'm going to use and the setup that we're going to use, I did some testing of the holes reverberation and measured it up, so it should be good. So that's what I would suggest. So hopefully, you know, that helps you out. Okay, continuing on, you say it's the band, not a choir. Well, it's the same situation. If the band is playing there, it depends on what you want to capture. If you want to capture the whole band playing mood, then you'd be better off going and connecting them where they are, where they feel comfortable playing. Then you can do that. If they're comfortable to come to your studio, if you have a studio, and to record, or even if you want to record one at a time, sometimes you don't get the same sort of feeling. You don't get that the band as a unity. If I'm trying, I hope that makes sense. By the band playing them together, by the band playing each other together and listening to each other while they're playing, you will come up much better, because more feeling, more emotions, rather than just listening to someone else already played it before and then they doing their part. It all depends also how experienced the band players are as well. So hopefully that answers. If it's a band, obviously you can certainly hook up all the microphones that you need. You're not going to worry about the church's ambience, but again, that might be something that you want to capture. So hope that answers. Yeah, so we are all doing those sort of projects because it's coming close to Christmas time, and I normally get that sort of a project around Christmas time, whether if it's a solo artist want to do a Christmas CD or Christmas songs, or in this case for this year I'm doing a choir, so we'll be recording the choir. So rather than bringing them in here and they're going to feel sort of out of place in the studio, they have never recorded in a studio, so they're not going to feel comfortable. So for them to sing as a group where they always sing comfortably and just capture that emotions of the choir and as a whole choir all together, then it will definitely turn up much, much better. And I'll be using, as I mentioned, 6 microphones on the choir, capturing all the different sort of the harmonies they're going to sing. And then I can come back here in the studio and mix it, make sure it's all well balanced between all the different parts of the choir. as well as the piano, then it'll turn up much better. So hope that answers. Anyway, we only have 4 or 5 viewers today. I don't know why. So it's really great that you actually got the Quantum. I haven't even seen it yet. The music store that I normally go to buy all of my gear, they didn't have it in stock yet. So, but yeah, they hopefully when they have it, I might have a look at it. But I do have plans to upgrade my gear here because I still have the old 1818 VSL from PreSonus. I want to actually upgrade it to the new Studio Live Series 3 16, so I get 16 channels Studio Live. And we have Billy Blaze. Hey, how are you, Billy? Hope you're doing well. Nice of you to join us early morning in your time. Hope you're doing well. I've been enjoying a couple of your songs that you had on YouTube last week. Was it last week or the week before? So yeah, as I'm mentioning before, I'll mention it again. I'm actually coming live to you instead of using OBS software to live stream. I'm actually using Google Hangouts to live stream. And the advantage of having Google live stream is that I can invite people to join in. So if you have a camera and a microphone, even a webcam, doesn't have to be anything professional, then I can invite you and you can actually join me in and become my guest. Yes, you can be my guest. Be my guest. Be my guest. Be my guest. Anyway, so if you want to join in, just let me know. I can invite you and you can be my guest. Okay, my name is Vache. SLTVCH asks, what is your name? Vache is my name. Yes, it's been Vache since I was born. Yes. I think that's what my parents called me first time. I would not know because my memory doesn't go as far as my birth. But according to my parents, that is what they named me when I was born. I think. It says, how cool is that? If I knew how to hook that stuff up, I would have to look into that. Yes, Billy. I know you were a very, very busy person playing. And I do hope you are enjoying playing. I used to play quite regularly about 10 years ago. And since then, it actually has died. The scene actually has died here. Everybody is going into, CDs, DJs. All the weddings and parties that we used to play as a band. Now, that scene doesn't exist here for us anymore. It's all DJs and DJs and DJs. A lot of times I get called, oh, can you come and play for our wedding? We're gonna have a DJ, so you're gonna be playing half the time, and DJ is gonna play half the time. And I tell them, just let the DJ play full time, because I'm not a person that's gonna play half the gig for you. So they go, but why? We'll pay you. No, it's not about the pay. It's the principle. So you either get a band or get a DJ, because it's completely different. You want the DJ? That's fine. Get a DJ. But if you want to actually enjoy music, then you need live band and nothing else, because live is completely different. So, but they choose DJ because they're cheaper, and they can play the music non-stop. But yeah, it's unfortunate. But I guess, Billy, you're one of the lucky ones that actually keep playing. And Billy says, man, that's a shame, Vache. I hope you can find some avenues for live playing. Well, these days I don't have the time for live playing. I get called from ex band members saying, "Oh, there's a gig. Can you come and play for us?" But I'm just far too busy to go back into practicing with a band and trying to play. And yeah, I think at this stage I'm past that point. It has to be something really special that I want to play, then I'll go and play. Otherwise, yeah. If people don't respect your playing, they don't sort of value your playing and the time that you put into your performance, then I'd rather not play than be just a background music for someone. They can play the DJ, pay the DJ for background music. Anyway, yes, so if you guys have any questions in regards to anything audio, feel free to ask. I try to do at least once a month live stream Q&A to cover things, answer questions that you guys might have that might be hard for you to uh, ask on my videos. I mean, maybe I haven't covered that. Billy Blaze says, I hear you. I have yet to find the time to record. I think a person can only have time for one or the other. That is true. That is true. Because once you start recording, then you're going to start running out of time if you're doing live things, and your recording will sort of go halfway and never finish. And that's what used to happen to me as well. So a lot of the time I get into the studio, well, my old studio in my house, and get things going, but I wouldn't be able to finish it. I've got quite a few songs which are unfinished, and I still don't get the time to finish them because I've got, now that I've got the new studio, I've got clients coming in, doing recording for clients, and sometimes I go out on the field and record, and then come back here and mix. So it doesn't leave me much time. Especially I work full time as well. This is not my day job. This is my hobby. I work full time. I'm at work at 7 o'clock and I close the place at 7 o'clock. So 12 hours I'm at work. And by the time I come back home, have something to eat, I'm just buggered to do anything, other than I get myself to finish off the work for my clients. Billy Blaze says, I was saying earlier, I'm about to buy a Universal Audio LA610 preamp for recording. Do you have any experience with the gear? Unfortunately not. I don't have any Universal Audio. They're far too expensive for me to what they provide. A lot of people who actually have them, they swear by it. They say, all the hardware plugins that come in. So the gear actually has the effects built into the unit, and you can control them through VST plugins, the hardware. But I have never experienced. It's just far too expensive for me. I rather buy the gear that I want, whether if it's a compressor or equalizer or a mic pre, and only of those sort of things I prefer to buy them as a separate unit rather than have that added inside the unit and pay for it in advance. So unfortunately, sorry, Billy, I don't have much experience, but other than have good reviews about them, that they're pristine, clean preamps. They got, as I mentioned, the built-in effects, the compressors, equalizers, gates, reverbs, delays. They're all hardware built in. So yeah, best to check them out. I mean, I can, now that I know you're looking after the LA610, I can have a look at that for you, and I can send you an email, because I believe I do have your email. Regardless, I can get in touch with you and let you know from reading about it and compare it to what I know and what I have, and see if that helps you out. And you can decide on that. But yeah, I personally have not had any. Okay, well, I think I'm nearly over. So another probably 7 minutes, 7, 8 minutes, and I'll be gone, because I gotta go back to my main PC and actually do some work, because I've got some projects that I have, and I also gonna check this baby. This is a new USB mixer with microphone, guitar, and line level keyboard input, USB mixer that I'm evaluating. And if it does all the things that I like to do, like multi-track recording, being able to listen to the USB and adjust it, which it does. And this one also has an effects built in as well. These two are delay and effects. It's got 3-band EQ for the microphone. So if it works out well, I might be selling these on my website as a alternative to other brand names, at a cheaper price. Obviously, that's the whole idea. Yeah. And Billy Blaze says, too expensive for me as well. We're talking about the Universal Audio. But I'm a sucker for tube stuff. Hey, I love tube as well. I just bought another tube preamp from ART. And there was something else. Yeah, and I just bought tube microphone as well. I'm hoping that it will arrive early next week. Yeah, that's my first tube microphone. Large diaphragm tube condenser microphone. So hopefully it will arrive next week. Yes, just I think from the preamps that I have, which have tubes in them, you can definitely hear the difference. I've got a Behringer preamp, which has tube emulation, and even with that, you turn it on and you compare it with the, let's say, the PreSonus Studio One, PreSonus channel, studio channel, which has a tube in there, which is my first go-to mic pre. You can definitely tell the difference. It's just so much difference. Or my ART mic pre, you can tell the difference. So definitely having a tube in there, it gives you that nice warm feeling. I mean, we call it warm, but it's basically it's got more low end. It's not as bright, so it dulls it down for you, but gives you that warm, intimate feeling. Isn't that right? Yes. You will love the tube mic, and you can change out the tube for a vintage tube for better sound too. Yes, I guess it all depends on the microphone, whether I can change the tube or not. I think that in the microphone that I've ordered, and it's coming early next week, has the 12A7 tube. I'll give it a try. See how it is, how it feels, how it sounds, and I might actually order some vintage tube as well to replace it, and give that a try as well. You just take it out, put a new one in. It's not that hard to do, actually. Yeah. I've got a question from M Bone. It says, how much you spend totally building the studio? Totally building the studio. Okay. Well, I don't have a final figure because I it took 12 months for me to build, just under 12 months or 11 months for me to build. But adding up the major costs, it's ended up about, I think, just under $25,000. It wasn't cheap because I built it from ground up. You got to remember, I had slab, and I had to build outside wall and then inside wall and everything else in between. So I think it ended up just under $25,000. Or yes, yeah. And I sort of estimate, I'll say it about $25,000 Australian to build it. Adding up all the other bits and pieces, every time I went to the hardware shop to buy screws and I don't know, this or that, this and that, I go, well, I might have spent another $1,000 on those sort of things. So that's, I say about $25,000 all up, over the course of 11 months that I spent. But I planned it. I didn't just start it straight away. I actually saved up my money and calculated over time how much I'd be able to save and be able to do it. And it took me 2 years of saving that money before I started. So I had about 70% of the cost already in the account before I actually started it, because I didn't want to start and halfway through or certain stage through run out of money. I'm not rich, I'm not a millionaire. So yeah, but having said that, now I absolutely enjoy it, being in here, and all my clients that come in, visitors that I get come in, they really like it. They really enjoy it. At the moment, it's a chock-a-block of full in here because of some sessions that I had last week and I haven't cleaned up yet. And I've got one tomorrow coming up for his second song, and it's a mess that I need to clean up tomorrow morning. So I'll switch it around so you can actually see how much mess I have. So I've got guitars, and the drum set there, and yeah, all behind there. So it's yeah. So all that shelf that you guys can see now, with all my boxes and things on there. There we go. I'm back. That's actually gonna go. I put that shelf in there, hoping that I'll be able to make it look nice and put things away, but it's just getting filled up with a lot more things. So that's gonna come out, and what will happen is in that area there, you've seen that sort of like all jam packed of the drum, electric drums, and I've got the acoustic drum behind it. So the electric drum will move out into somewhere else, and that shelf will go, and then in its place there's going to be permanent setup of my acoustic drum. So yeah, I need to move that, so I'll have acoustic drum there all the time. So, or if I've got a couple recordings that's coming up in January. I know the band is going to be coming, and they're going to bring their own drum set, their live drum set. So I need to have that space cleaned up. And that was one of the reasons why I built this studio, so I can actually get live drums set up in here, be able to record. But I need to clean that. So other than that, it's yeah, I love it here, and whoever comes in here, they really enjoy it. Okay, a couple of more comments here. M Bone says, thanks, pretty nice work. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the feedback. And Billy Blaze says, but you did a fantastic job, brother. Nobody could have built it better. Well, maybe a builder could have built it better, but me doing it, it's definitely more pleasurable for me because I know every corner, every screw, every nail that went in here because I did it. Yes, at least you aren't having to vacuum up shitrock dust anymore. Tell me about it. That dusting, when the shitrock went up there, or the gyprock, or drywall, and I puttied it, and I had to sand it down with the sander. Oh my goodness! It was like there was so much dust in here, I couldn't even see. Just went everywhere. I'm glad that's over. I couldn't even get the camera in here at that time because there's no way I was going to risk my camera, bring it in there to actually video it inside all that dust. I said, bugger that. But yeah, it was very dusty. But now it's very clean. I try to keep it clean. It's vacuumed all the time, and yeah, it's for me. It's a really great place to be. Very inspiring. I got to do some decorations. Let me bring a decoration that I'm going to put in. Yay! Lights. I'm thinking actually putting some lights over there. I don't know if I can get the chance to do it tomorrow, or during next week, maybe. So I'm going to put some lights there. Inspiration. It's really important for inspiration. So when you come in here, turn the lights on, you get into the mood, and listen to some music, enjoy it, and get some work done. Yes. Anybody else have any other questions? Looks like we've got a few more people come join in. I guess everybody's waking up. Another 10 minutes, guys, and I will be going back to do some work behind me. And yeah, I don't know if anybody wants to join to the chat. Feel free to let me know. I can invite you, and you can be my guest for the next 10 minutes. How about that? Where are we? Oh, the chat. Oh, Billy Blaze says, I got some lights too, like rope lights. They are LEDs as well. Yeah, I was going to get the rope ones, but I thought I'll get these ones because these are expendable, and you know, there's more party sort of lights, you know. It says, show us some work. Well, what sort of work you want me to show you, Mbone? Because once I turn my back, it's going to be a bit hard for me to show you, or because my work is on that computer, not on my laptop. But depends what sort of work you're after. I mean, I can open up a project, but you're not going to be able to see anything. Music, music work. Okay, let me see. Gotta turn things on. Well, that's a good chance. I better start turning things on. Might be able to hear things. let's see what projects. I need to do a quick project today because it's already getting late. It's 10:30 p.m. here, Sydney, Australia time. And there you go. See, my Studio One is coming on, and I'll open up one of the projects and start it up. And if that's what you want, then I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to do that. Is anybody else working on any project themselves? They'd like to share or need help in anything? Because one of the things I'm actually looking at, as I mentioned earlier in the earlier part of the live stream, that I'll be recording a choir in a hall, and one of the things I was looking at ways to reduce natural reverberation from the recording, because I'm sure when I actually go to the hall and set up the microphones, no matter how close I set up to the choir to record their Christmas carols, there's going to be some, the whole reverberation. So I was thinking of ways to be able to remove the reverberation so that it's not all washed out, so the words come out. So I'll be playing with some techniques later on today. Well, not sure how much you can see, but you can see over here, these are all my projects that I've been working on. So I've got quite a few. Let me see. What can we work on? I might work on this project. You guys might like this project. It's more, I think it's a house music, maybe house, techno, or thereabouts. There is about 37 tracks on this song. If you can see it. Where am I? Okay, I've been working on the vocals. Everything is muted, so I've got to be working on the vocals. And if I do that, where are we? I don't know how it will come up on the microphone, the sound. Yeah, so where are we? Yeah, it's got several tracks and things that I need to actually go in and edit. It's not even mixed yet. It's I'm still at the editing stages of this. So yeah, that's. Just move out of the way so you can actually see how many tracks there are and what the project is. I hope yeah, I'm hearing you from my KRK Rocket 5 speakers. Well, the sound that is actually coming is coming from the microphone here, so you're not going to be the same sound quality, M-Bone, but yeah. That's a Swanky monitor Vache. I'm using a laptop and running a cable out to go to a 52-inch TV for a large screen. Oh yeah. Well, this is actually 21 by 9. Right, it's a widescreen LCD. I need it so that I can actually have enough room so I can get all the timeline lined up in there. Let me. No, I don't want to save it because I'll probably have to do something else with that one. Let me see. Another one. Here's another project for you guys. This is a little bit smaller, I think, project. Yeah, as you can see, these are stems loaded. You can tell they're stems because they've got all the way through. And let's have a listen to this one. So jazzy, funky stuff. No vocals yet. Anyway, yep, that's another project that I need to finish off as well. So there's plenty in there. Yeah, having a wide monitor definitely helps. Then I can actually see the whole timeline and still in detail, and I don't have to zoom in and out all the time, or scroll left and right all the time. We have FUD Firebird as well. What's your thoughts on using a mixer with USB as your interface, e.g. PreSonus Studio Live 12? Well, yeah, they're good. The AR range is actually not bad because that will still give you 14 streams to your PC. So as if you're doing live mixing, or if you've got a live input, so you've got 12 channels plus the 2 stereo that go into your DAW, like Studio One, plus the stereo mixer. You could have that as a reference. And then you can go ahead and mix it again in Studio One if you wanted to. And you've got, I think, up to 4 channels coming back. Plus, you can also record on an SD on the actual AR12. And then you can play back as well from the AR12. They're nice little ones. And if that's what you want to do, you can really fantastic for live as well as in the studio. I was actually thinking of getting the AR range, but now I thought I'll save my money maybe for Christmas, or maybe just after Christmas when they have specials in January or so, to actually get the Studio Live Series 3 16-channel one. Because moving faders, I love moving faders, and it will integrate really well with my Studio One. So that's my thing. But AR range is still fantastic for the price. I think you're getting quite a lot for your buck. So yes. M Bone says nice jazz. Yep, maybe the previous song was. And SL Siege says, can you help me how can connect my electronic drum via USB to my PC? Before with Windows it was possible, now with Mac I can't. It all depends what your electric drum is outputting on the USB, because my electric drum here has a USB connection to the PC. Doesn't even need drivers because it's a generic USB MIDI. So I can just connect it and it'll become like a MIDI port in my DAW. Doesn't matter which one, Studio One or any of the other DAWs. And anything I play on the drums, it records MIDI notes in my DAW. Then I can go ahead and do a drum replacement, sample drum sounds in my Studio One, and actually get better sounds than the sounds in the electronic drum kit, because it's not an expensive one, it's quite a cheap one. So if that's what you're asking, then depends on your drum kit what sort of a USB output it is, because I'm not sure many electronic drums actually have audio output other than the normal jack outputs as analog outputs. But from USB it's just MIDI. And when you plug it into your Mac in your devices, it should come up as a MIDI device. Yeah, that's as far as I can help, unfortunately, without knowing the model of your drum kit and how it actually connects. We have someone else as well. Hello to CMRB live show, and ask the question. I would like to ask, what is the basic plug in that we need for our DAW, other than drum, guitar, and etc. And what does plugin do? Okay, well, what's a plugin is the question. Well, you don't need any plugin. If you have a DAW, and most DAWs will actually come with plugins, native plugins. And the plugins are basically compressors, equalizers, filters, reverb, delay, echo, and any of those things. Those are plugins. And sometimes there are third-party plugins developers who develop certain type of compressor, equalizer, gate, or reverb or delay or anything else that you can add into your DAW to use. So like add on. And which one do you need? If you ask me, if you have a DAW, initially you don't need any. You already have enough in your DAW to do what you want to do, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense, because that's what plugins are. They just do additional process inside your DAW for each one of your tracks, or on your auxiliary buses, or sub buses, or on your master bus. I hope that makes sense. I hope I explained it correctly. And Fud Firebird says, thanks. Would it allow direct monitoring to overcome latency? Yes, the AR12s definitely have direct monitoring. So you are listening to whatever is coming into your mixer live, and then you have another 4 or 2 stereo coming back from your DAW, if you wanted to. So you can listen up to 4 separate tracks, or it's a good idea probably 2 buses coming back. So if you are recording the vocals on top of the band when let's assume the band is playing, and then you've got 12 microphones and lines or whatever direct DI box is connected, and you record 12 channels in Studio One. And then you can play back those 12 channels mixed down to 4, like 2 stereo buses, and then feed back that into your AR12 mixer while your vocalist is listening to that mix that the band played earlier. They can record their vocals onto a new track. So, and there's, I think, with the USB drivers that it has, and universal control drivers as well, with AR12, then you get really, really low latency, low enough that you wouldn't be able to tell, nearly. Okay, hope that answers that question. And SLTV Siege says, before it was working well, maybe it's the cable. I have to get the jack output. It's DD400. I might have to go back. Yeah, I'm afraid SLTV Siege, I'm not sure what you mean. Jack output. Yeah, I'm sorry, I cannot understand exactly what you were asking about your electronic drum via USB to my PC. Whether you were connecting your electronic drum analog output jacks into a USB mixer and then recording it, I'm not sure. Yeah. And CMRB Live Show says, thank you, sir, for the answer. I hope I did answer. So that's what plugins are. They're software versions of compressors, equalizers, and everything else that they provide. And Food Fiber also says, thanks, Vache. It makes sense. Yes. I think AR12s are really great for live recording and then mixing later on. I'm sure it will do quite fine. My drum TV, you guys have to have a bit shorter names. SLTV Siege de Lounge TV. Shorter names. My drum name is DD400. Sorry, if you're expecting me to know what DD400 drum is, I don't know, because there are so many brands, so many models, so many things. I'm not sure which one it is. You just have to read the manual and find out whether the driver, if you need drivers for it, for your USB connection, whether its drivers are supported by Mac or only PC or Windows. So that is something you need to find out. Unfortunately, I cannot help you when I'm doing live stream, and it's already way past my time. I was hoping I'll be able to do just sort of a 60-minute or 1 hour session. It's already gone over now. Do you know what make it is? Like, is it a Roland? Is it I don't know. I can't think of any other names at the moment of what type of electronic drum kit it is, because I don't know what DD400 is. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. I'm just checking things out to see how things are rolling here. And where are we? There we go. Oh, it's so hard sometimes. There's so many windows for me to have a look at. Okay, Billy. has a question. I think it's a question. It says, I am using a Focusrite Scarlett 6i6. Last time I was recording, I was getting some popping in the audio. Hope I can get that sorted out. If not, I may get the new key interface. Usually, pop happens if you have your sample buffer too low. Just increase it to the next level. Let's say if you have it at 32, increase it to 48 or 64. This will increase the latency slightly, but it shouldn't really affect that much. But it should get until you get rid of the popping. And then when you are playing back, and this is where a lot of people fail to do, once you finish recording and you want to start mixing the song, increase that buffer at least 1024 or 2048 samples, because that will use less CPU power. That means you are now able to have more tracks mixing without any issues. You can add more plugins into your tracks without overloading your CPU. So a lot of people go and set the buffer setting at the lowest as possible when they're recording, but they forget to increase that back once they finish recording and they are playing back. So check that, making sure that if during recording you're getting pops and clicks or some sort of hiccups, then increase the buffer to the next one. If it's 64, make it 96, or if it's 32, make it 48, and keep increasing it one bit at a time to see until the popping goes, because popping is happening because the CPU cannot get the information from the buffer of the USB and hand it to the DAW and go back. It's just not fast enough because it has to do it quickly, because by the time it gives that information, the buffer fills up, and it has to, by the time it gets to fetch it again, some of the data would have disappeared, overridden by the next data coming from your Focusrite. So by increasing the buffer, that means it gives more chance for the CPU to process that information, give it to your DAW, do all that work, and while the buffer is filling up and go into it. But once you have finished recording, you don't need that buffer to be short. Increase that buffer the most you can, because you're not worried about latency at this stage, because anything you play, it'll go into the buffer, and there's plenty for the CPU by the time the buffer fills up to go and do all the things that it needs to do, play your tracks, process all the plugins and all of those things, and then feed it into your buffer, and the buffer will actually take care of sending it into your Focusrite 6i6 without any hassles. There'll be plenty time for them to do because you've got a bigger buffer. So I hope that helps, especially with the playback. A lot of big people become lazy and don't change it, or they forget to change it, but make sure you change it back. Of course, when you're recording again, then you gotta remember to minimize it if you don't want latency. Okay. We have PM. Hello, PM. Says, what boosts quality of recording more, good microphone or good mixer? Or well, it's a whole process. If you don't have a good microphone, you can have the best mixer, the audio quality will be crap. You can have the best microphone, but the processing done by the mixer inducing noise and distortion, it'll be output crap. So you gotta have a balance between the balance would be what quality you can get for the price that you are willing to pay. So there's no two way. Everything is the same. So it's garbage in, garbage out, good in, good out. So you've got your input source as your microphone. It needs to be as clean as you can afford it to, and your mixer will need to be just as clean as your microphone. So let's say if your microphone has noise floor of probably, I don't know, 80, 90 dB or thereabouts, on average about 80 dB, then you need a mixer with signal to noise ratio at least 80 dB or more. I would definitely want more, because otherwise you'd be introducing twice as many, maybe 100, 120 dB signal to noise ratio, so that you don't induce any further noise from the microphone. So hope that answers that question. So you really need good mic, good mixer, good converter to get the good sound out. But at the same time, it all depends how much you're willing to pay. But these days, technology has advanced so much comparing to 20 years ago. You get really good quality of audio from a microphone into a mixer, for a few $100s. So yes, hope that answers that question. And Randhir Singh says, best software for recording. Well, the best software for recording is the one you know how to use. It could be the best software for someone else because they know how to use it, but if you don't know how to use it, that's not the best software. And that's the truth. Basically, find yourself, try out all the different DAWs or digital audio workstation or recording software that you can try, and see which one you like the best. Makes it really easy to record, easy to set up. Quickly you can record things and process it and have something outputted and you can listen to. Then that's the best recording software, because you learn and that becomes the best recording software. If anybody tells you that Pro Tools is better than Studio One or Cubase or Sonar or Reaper or whatever, how many DAWs there are, they're basically bullshitting at you. There is no such thing. I use Studio One, and my music, when I produce, is actually 10 times better to a friend of mine who uses Pro Tools, and his music sounds crap because he doesn't know how to use Pro Tools, and he's just been told that Pro Tools is good, is the industry's thing. You got to have Pro Tools to be professional. That's bullshit. Absolute bullshit. My music, you compare to his, it's just his crap. And he tears his hair out. He goes, I've got Pro Tools, so how come my song doesn't sound as good as yours? What do you do? What's your secret? Is it because you've got these other things in here, all the hardware that I've got? I go, no, because I know how to use Studio One, and I've been using it for the past 5 years. I know as much as I need to know. There's probably, and I only know half of it. So that's the difference between what's the best recording software. I hope that answers. And okay, coming back to yours, you say, I am using FL Studio. Is it good for recording? I have FL Studio too. I played around with it. I got, actually, FL Studio was donated to me by ImageLine, the signature edition, and I've done few projects on it, but I don't know how to use it. So for me, it takes me twice as long to produce a song in FL Studio than in Studio One. But other people use FL Studio every day. They know how to use it. So it's the best software for them. Obviously, there are things that you can do in FL Studio, which will again take you twice as long in Studio One, like loop recording, sequencing, and all of those things. And if that's what you are doing, then FL Studio will be the best recording software for you. I hope that answers that question. And Billy Blaze says, I agree, mic and interface are equal importance to the question before, which one is good, better microphone or good mixer. You got to have both on the same level. Otherwise, you're not really, you're not going to get quality if you have crappy microphone or crappy mixer. Billy Blaze says, an easy software is Traction software. Traction software easy. Billy, are you sure? Even for me, Traction is a little bit complicated. But I guess it all depends how often you use it. I mean, I've used Traction. I've got Traction projects up as well. But probably not the easiest for startups. But once you get to learn, like here, Billy has learned how to use Traction, it's easy for him, and that's the best recording software. And Randir, he says, yes, you are right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Amber says, I use Logic Pro. Yes. Well, I had Logic when I used to use my Mac, but I don't have Mac anymore. It's sitting, it's sitting gathering dust. I don't use that anymore. But yes, it all depends what you are used to, what you are happy using, and just keep using and learning the same one, and you get better at it, and that becomes the best recording software. You know, I know people who use Logic Pro for all of their recording. I know people who use Reaper and they swear by it, or any other DAWs. But it all depends whether you know how to use it or not. And Billy Blaze says, Vache, are you going to do any tutorial on Mackie Traction 6? I might do some basic tutorials on Mackie 6, on Traction 6. Not Mackie, it's Traction T6. I think Traction T6 is given away with Mackie audio hardware for free. And Billy says, I found Traction easy compared to like Pro Tools, but I guess it's what you are familiar with, and with the OS, like you say, Vache. With the, yeah. Yes. So when you learn, the software becomes easy for you to use, then it makes it really easy. And we have Ahmad Atari. Welcome, Ahmad. Ahmed Atari. He says you're the best. Well, I'm not the best, but I'll do my best. Billy Blaze says, I guess that comes with it operating more like a live mixer to me than the other DAWs. Yeah, yeah. I mean, Traction, especially now the T6 is free as well. Traction 6 is free. It's much more modular and much more flexible than the traditional DAWs with timelines at the top, like you see behind me, and then the mixer at the bottom, and so on. Where in Traction, you can swap and change any which way you want. You can put 2 faders if you wanted to, rather than 1, and you can do all sorts of crazy shit with it, and it still works. But yeah, it all depends how you're used to it. Randir Singh says YouTube channel name in the mix. They do all stuff, recording, mixing, mastering, and making music in FL Studio. You are right, brother. Yes, as I said, if you learn it, then it's not a problem. What about mixing? Which one is good for stereo or mono? SLTVC says, what about mixing? Which one is good, stereo or mono? If you're asking about when I'm mixing, whether I mix in mono or mix in stereo, I initially start everything in mono. Well, if the instrument is stereo, let's say if I recorded a piano, I normally being centered, but most of the recording will be mono. Guitars are mono, bass is mono, kick drum mono, snares mono, toms are all mono. So they'd be all in the center. And then once I've done the general leveling, gain staging and leveling, then I start sort of planning my virtual stage and decide where I want these guitars to be and these guitars to be. Especially if I got multiple guitars, then I like to spread them out so that I've got multiple guitars playing on my virtual stage. That's when I spread them out. But every now and then I would press the mono button in Studio One as I'm mixing, making sure that I still got all the instruments in there and I don't have phase issues. And sometimes I even listen on a mono speaker to test, make sure that I can still hear all the instruments in a mono speaker. You know, one of those small $20 mono speakers, Bluetooth speakers. I put them on there. If it sounds good on that Bluetooth mono speaker, I can hear all the instruments. It's a perfect mix. Hope that answers that question. Well, guys, I think I need to sort of finish off because it's 11 o'clock here, half an hour longer than what I was hoping to be. Billy Blaze says, how's the guitar learning coming? Yes, very good. Billy, I have to show you this. From your recommendation, I went and got, sorry, I just dropped it. I went and got the new strings, and it's yeah, it sounds good. Let me grab it. Let me grab the guitar. Okay, I don't know how well it'll come, but this is one. And I actually did replace the strings, even though they were brand new strings on this brand new guitar. I replaced it, and not even being a guitar player, as you know, I actually can't feel the difference. Fucking hell! I'm not sure if it's tuned yet because I only recently changed it. So it's still going out of tune. So let me tune it. Yeah, it's still going out of tune. So give me a few minutes. Yep, all good. Okay. You guys know I'm not a guitar player, right? There we go. Let's bring it down a little bit, the camera, so you can see me playing the guitar. I haven't practiced for a week yet, so I'm getting there. I'm keep practicing it until I get it right, and I will be recording it. I am also thinking of getting guitar lessons, so I can improve my things. And my fingers are already sort of getting numb from playing, but that's part of the playing, right? That's when you become a guitar player, when you cannot feel your fingertips. I don't know if you can hear it from the microphone, if it's loud enough. Anyway, enough of guitar playing. But yeah, I'm actually it's definitely smoother on my fingers, and just yeah, it's much easier to play, and it sounds much nicer as well. So another couple of weeks, it will definitely sort of settle in and won't go out of tune as much. I'm sure you guys know, as guitar players, and it'll be all good. So I'll be able to play, practice, and I'm going to finish that song, Not Without You, that we recorded. So I'll play the solos in here, and hopefully it'll be all right. Anyway, just to finish things off, it's fantastic. I knew you would love those strings. They are the only ones I use. Thank you, Billy. As I said, I do take advice from the professionals and make sure that I learn. Yeah. And Billy says, I can already hear a better sound quality that the strings it came with. Yes. No, it does sound different. I still have the old string, but when I replaced it and tried it, it definitely. No, that's a wrong note there. No, somewhere like that. Anyway, well, I need to head out now. Thanks for everybody who had just joined in, and I hope you had a great time. I hope I had answered all your questions as much as I could, to the best of my knowledge and ability. And I thank you so much. And also thank you for all the subscribers as well. It's just gone now over 6,000. And yeah, if you're not aware, please go to my website, recordingstudio9.com, and I do have prizes that I'm giving away for Studio One Prime, the free DAW, lots of the new add-ons, and there's 3 of them at the moment I have giving away. They are about, I think, $20 US each, and so you could win them, 1, 2, or 3 of them if you're lucky enough. So and I'll be having more later on as well. So every month I'll be giving away 3 licenses, or 1 of each add-on packages. So go there and make sure you enter the prizes, because you can win. It doesn't matter where you are on the planet Earth, on Mars, yeah, and on Mars. then I'll email you the license. I'll be transferring the license to you, and you'll be able to use those extra plugins in Prime for Studio One. Thank you very much for joining in. And Billy Blaze, as always, great seeing you, brother. Have a great day in Aussie land. Yes, I've got another hours of work to do, and then I'm gonna go sleeping, because I've got a big day ahead tomorrow that I need to attend. Because I've got to clean up here, and I've got recording session tomorrow afternoon. So again, thanks for joining in. Have a great day, whoever is just waking up in US, and just afternoon in the East, and here in Australia, land down under, we are going to bed. Good night from me. Cheerio, guys. See you next time.